Can you explain how your parents handed the business down to you and your brothers?
Oh, wow.
We didn't give them a choice. I mean,
We held them ransom.
yeah, exactly.
Until they handed it over.
You know what? That's a great question. Here's what happened. My mother and father were working together. My mom was the illustrator. My father was the marketing, all the back office of the company. I think there were 4 or 5 people working at the company. We were very small. And in the late 90s, they felt like they needed a break. Successful company, and they wanted to try something different. They wanted to move to England. My dad wanted to become a PhD in history, and their goal was to move to London. So they called me up in March of '99, and they asked if I would leave my job in New York, and was I interested in coming back to Hatley. I'd worked at Hatley for 2 years earlier. And I said, that's great. Actually, it's perfect timing. I'm switching jobs in New York anyways. I said, Mom, if you're not going to draw these illustrations, who's going to do it? Nick, at the time, was doing contract art for my parents. Famous images like Kawasaki, which is a cow on a motorcycle. So I knew, the heights were limitless with that kind of art.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is a no-brainer with art like that.
Yeah.
I remember the story a little differently. I thought you were both unemployed, and the only way you would have jobs if Dad gave you the company.
Unemployed, incarcerated, what's the difference? I mean, who knows what we were doing at the time?
Unemployable.
Unemployable?
Let's just
maybe.
let's pretend we were employed.
You
I
boys
was
needed
employed at the
jobs.
time. 1999, I'm in.
I was actually.
I called
no,
Nick. Nick said he could do the
yeah,
art.
I was at the time. I was working as the assistant art director on a Harlequin romance film called Loving Evangeline. Just for the record.
What was your role there?
I was the assistant art director. I was making like gravestones and signs and.
So you trying to say it's a miracle we're here today?
Yeah. So
And then-
so my career prospects were huge.
Yeah, massive. And Jeremy was working in Ottawa for Corel.
I had a
on
real job.
WordPerfect.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, in his case, he was working in computer science, but he didn't know how to program, and so he kept getting fired. That's a fact.
I was gainfully employed, actually.
But for like weeks, and then they'd find out he was not able to do his job, and then he'd get fired.
It's
and
called
then
serial employment.
He was-
Serially
he
employed,
was
but
like-
employed continuously.
continuously employed at different companies after being fired.
I think we can all agree on one thing. If it wasn't for Mom and Dad, we would all be unemployed now.
Yes, living on
Yes.
the streets.
There's a good
fact.
chance.
That's a
There's a
fact.
good
Thank
chance.
goodness they had a company to
We
give
become
us.
But we'll come back to this
We
really
become
important question. So what
professional
happens
right.
is, I say I'm in, 1999. I'm in. Call up Nick. Nick, can you do the art?
No problem.
No problem.
No problem.
Jeremy, call Jeremy. Jeremy, can you spell the word art? A-R-T. Interview passed. Nailed it. And the 3 of us came back, and that was in 99. And they actually just handed us the business. We took it over, and there was no parent staying. They said, we are out of here.
Yeah.
We're here for 2 months. We've already booked our flat in London. See you later. And that's how the business was handed over.